Hey party people! So I am back finally with a new episode. It is going to be a little weird, just so you know. There's going to be two parts. One that I recorded right before schools all shut down for in-person learning, and then the section recorded after they opened back up. Just so you know, it wasn't enough content to do two videos, so that's why we're all going to squeeze it into one. But there will be kind of a midpoint where you'll realize, hey, this looks a little different. So pay attention. Welcome from an empty classroom. This is the next episode of Pandemic Teaching. Oh, okay. So updates from the last few weeks. Sorry, it's been kind of a wild ride. We are still doing hybrid in person. We have modified the teacher schedule a bit because students aren't really showing up. The in-person average daily in-person student attendance is anywhere from 0 students in the whole school to 4, at least in the past month or so. There was another opt-in period where students could choose to be in person if they wanted to. I attribute most of this to the fact that they're in high school, and because of staffing, we had to basically create all of our classes as remote instruction anyways. So it really doesn't behoove most of them to come in person. We're also a commuter school, so many of the students are traveling at least an hour away and don't really want to wake up early to take the train to sit in a room by themselves, and oftentimes with 2 teachers. So it's kind of a weird setup. The students that do come are really chill, quiet kids, but it doesn't seem like the best use of everybody's resources. So I wish in a perfect world, I know that younger grades, it's more important that they're in person, and more of their learning needs to be in person. So I wish we could use high schools and, upper grades to support more of that spread out learning in the lower grades. But right now, this is what the city of New York wants to do. The average rate of positivity is approaching 3%, which is a threshold that the mayor and the chancellor of New York set as the limit basically for schools to go back to fully remote. We are almost there. So there's been some discussions about shutting all the schools down again. They also have reported a lot about what the positivity rate in schools is, which happens to be 0.17%, which is slightly misleading because the amount of people that they're actually testing in schools versus the public is a little bit different. It's 35 degrees outside, so because we have to have our windows open, I'm wearing my jacket. It's probably 50 in here, maybe 60. The kids also have their jackets and stuff, but I'm sitting right by the window, so freezing. Guys, it's so cold in my room today. Freezing. So I had to put on something I had in my closet, which is a Garfield Halloween costume. Hey, party people. So guess what? I am back in the classroom once again. It is March 18th, 2021. high schools in New York City, public high schools, have officially set an opening date for students, which is the 22nd of March, for those who were signed up for hybrid learning to be in person a few days a week. If students were remote before, they're going to stay remote for right now. It's unclear when and how they might open up spots for in-person learning to those who are remote. And then there's actually an in-person SAT scheduled for the 24th of March. Unfortunately, the SAT is only being administered in person. There's no digital option. So students who are juniors in particular are typically scheduled to take the SAT in person during this time. And if they wait until the fall, they really will only have one shot to get it. So many of our students, I think about 50 or 60 out of maybe 80 or 90 in that class, have chosen to come in. In case anybody's wondering, this is SAT day and there is a fire truck and we had to evacuate. So you guys may be wondering about if any protocols have changed or anything like that. No, not really. So the only major change from what we had before is that testing used to happen monthly and now it's happening weekly. It's still 20% of the population that's in person. So if there's 10 people, they test 2. 20 people, they test 4. But if there's 2 positive cases in a school, the whole school shuts down just until those 2 cases can be confirmed. And I'm not sure of the wait time. It hasn't happened to our school, but that's mostly because our in-person population is so small. I know it happens very frequently for the middle and elementary kids who tend to have more students in person. Remote learning has been really difficult on students of all ages, but I'm just going to give you a glimpse into my grade book. We just finished the first marking period for spring. It was about 5 weeks long. So I'm sure many of you have already heard about how damaging the pandemic has been on students' learning. I'm just going to show you a little bit into my grade book so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. So this is a introductory biology class. This is the lab grade in this column. This is the final score as a percentage. So this is what goes on the transcript. And you can see, I'm just going to scroll through here, all of the red boxes. So this is about 68 students in these classes. All the red is failing, or we call it incomplete. So they get this NX score. And if you look at the percentages, percent passing is less than 40%, and that's at a 65% or higher. And the majority of the students are actually getting an NX, which is incomplete, meaning that they either have to make up that credit at some point in the summer, or they have to retake the class. And you can see this is my AP computer science class. Same thing. This is a few NX students. So it's a little bit better in this class because there's only 14 students, but that's a pretty big number of students failing, 42%. So this is a result of a lot of things. Students could not have a great working environment at home. They could have bad Wi-Fi. They could have technical issues with their devices or some combination of those things. They could have, mental issues right now, emotional issues. A lot of families have households who have lost jobs. Students have to pick up jobs. There's a lot of things going on. So unfortunately, all of the statistics are real, and we're fighting them as teachers and with the families and the community of the school every single day, and trying to figure out better solutions to address some of the academic gaps that we see, the learning gaps. And there's teams of teachers that meet every week. There's administration, there's guidance, all trying to figure out what are our possible solutions. And I do want to recognize some of the engagement that does happen and some of the things that are working, because not all of it is a total failure. And we keep trying every single day to make digital remote learning engaging and effective and enjoyable for the students. So here's some of those. So there are a few things that have increased engagement that I wanted to share with my class. One of them is having this class playlist. So I think I've talked about this before, but kids submit a form and they give me songs, and as I play them, I turn them green, and I put the dates that I play them. So these are all their submissions. Some of them are read if they've requested like multiple times, or if I couldn't find a clean version to share. The other thing that's been really cool is having shoutouts. So we have this Padlet where you can add a virtual shoutout. You can type in, whoever you want to shout out to. You can add emojis and GIFs and different things. And that's been kind of nice to create a little community for everybody. Thanks for watching today. Hopefully we'll see you soon, and I will try to be better about posting more frequently. Let me know in comments below what you're interested in knowing about in how schools are operating during the pandemic, and see you soon. Bye.